You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, Monday, August 4th. Thank you guys for joining us. Hopefully everyone had a great weekend, a fun weekend, a busy weekend right here in the Quad Cities. A lot on today's show once again. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Hopefully you are subscribing. If you have, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP. That helps us out a ton. We also live on X right now. We appreciate X. X has been very, very good to us. So if you're watching us live on X, thank you for that as well. And of course, you can check out the show and all of the podcasting platforms as well. So whether it's Spotify, whether it's Apple, whether it's you name it, any of the podcasting platforms, you can check out Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We appreciate that. Hopefully you guys are doing that as well. Also, if you subscribe to the show as well, you do know that we have a lot of big things coming up this weekend as well, or this week as well, that we'll get to here in just a little bit. Technology getting the best of me here today once again, but we're working through it. We're rocking and rolling, and there we go. We're up and rocking once again. That is a beautiful thing. A lot to get to on today's show. Coming up, it is August, so that does mean that football season is right around the corner. We're excited about that. Coming up in a matter of moments, we'll begin our OTA football previews on the Illinois side of the river and the Iowa side as well. We'll start with Illinois and chat with our good friend Nick Welch from United Township. The Panthers are expecting big things this fall. Nick Welch getting ready for year number 7 with the Panthers, which is crazy. Time flies when you're having fun. So we'll get caught up and talk about the Western Big Six in general as well, with him kicking things off in a matter of moments. Excited about that. Also coming up after that, we'll hop the river to Illinois and check in on, to Iowa and check in at North Scott. The Lancers have a brand new head coach as well. Tony Stewart, not new to the program, been there for 16 years, I believe, but he begins year number 1 replacing Kevin Tippett, and that's another school that has a lot of returning starters, a lot of depth up front, and a lot of talent as well. So we'll chat with him about the Lancers this upcoming season. So the off-the-air football previews, off and running, coming up later in the show. We had a lot to celebrate when it comes to the Quad City Steamwheelers. They take care of business, winning against Jacksonville this past weekend to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. A big game coming up. Eastern Conference Championship game is at Vibrant Arena coming up this Saturday night. We'll kind of preview that and look back at a special weekend, a playoff victory with the Wheelers head coach, Cory coming up around 11 p.m. as well. So, 11 a.m. as well. So a lot to get to with the Wheelers as well. And then also SummerSlam this weekend lived up to the hype, lived up to the expectations. We will break down a great SummerSlam with our good friend Don Umland coming up in just a little bit as well. So a full packed show once again today here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A few things we do want to kind of catch you up on coming up this week. On Friday, we're taking Off the Air on the road. We are heading to Iowa City, Iowa. It's Iowa Football Media Day, and we're going to do the show live from the practice field for Iowa Football Media Day. It should be a ton of fun. Players and coaches will be available for interviews, so we'll chat with Pat Anger, hopefully catch up with maybe Gary Dolphin or Rob Brooks, somebody like that. Also some players here and there as well. So I'm really excited about that. It won't be during the morning. It will not be a 10 a.m. start for Off the Air on Friday. I'm thinking 2:30 or 3 o'clock. We'll kind of detail that throughout the week, but off the air, live from Iowa Football Media Day coming up later this week on Friday, August 7th. Really excited about that. Also coming up, we're talking a lot about high school football. We have the View from the West kickoff party coming up live on August 17th, a Sunday at 5 p.m. from the Other Bar in Moline. Several coaches from around the area will be there as well. We'll do a show. It should be a ton of fun. Excited to get rolling with that as well. So a couple things to get caught up on before we get rocking and rolling on today's show as well. And we mentioned the big news over the weekend here locally, the Quad City Steamwheelers knocking off at home and doing it in impressive fashion to get that first playoff victory at home in a while. We talked to Doug Bland on Friday. It had been a while since the Wheelers had a home playoff game. A lot of that due to the fact that there was no team for several years. But since the rebirth, whoever else was with us in the department, whether it was Celia Palermo or Camille Gear or Greg Armstrong or Jenna, whoever it was, I'm missing some of them, running around getting high school football previews. Over the next several weeks, we're going to bring those high school football previews to Off the Air and chat with a couple coaches, hopefully each day, a couple coaches, one from Illinois, one from Iowa, as we get ready for the season. And I figured there's no better place to start this year than in the Western Big Six. And we've talked to a lot of United Township coaches in my 6, 7, 8 months doing this show. I have not talked to this young man, and excited to kick off our previews in the Western Big Six. So we start our high school football previews, and when I said, okay, it's high school football season, I knew I was calling Nick Welch because I like to give him a hard time at times. But this young man was one of a couple coaches, John Schlemmer as well, Coach LeMay at Newman, that participated in the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing this year for the second year in a row. I do appreciate it. So I got to be a little nicer to you. Did you have a good time coming out for the second time?
Oh, it was a great time. Lot of golfers. You got some young people. You got some old people. You got some interesting things going on different holes, whether it's the dice, the gun, shooting a basketball, and eating some chips and salsa. Everybody likes chips and salsa.
Yeah.
It's a great time. Good camaraderie, good cause. Somehow I didn't get a door prize. I think that's BS, but We'll move on from that. Well, yeah, I didn't. It's fine.
And the door prizes were like Moline hats, so I figured I didn't want to give you one. No, I'm just kidding. It was never a Moline hat. I know better than that.
I would never wear that hat.
I know. Hey, so John Schlemmer, he participated as well. Who's a better golfer? Is it Coach Welch? Is it Coach Schlemmer? Kind of take me through that.
Oh, Coach Welch is definitely better than Coach Schlemmer. Yeah.
By
and he'll
far?
tell you that. I would say last summer we played a couple times and it was competitive. He's your classic guy who like pretends like he's worse than he is, kind of like he is about coaching his team. But this summer he hasn't been able to play very much with the kids and everything, and I got out a few more times. But yeah, this summer it wouldn't have been close. I got him.
Well, you mentioned Coach Schlemmer and the kids. You can't you're now, and I should have led with that instead of golf. You're now a father of 2. Congratulations. You have a little baby boy. As a father of 4 boys, it's pretty cool. You're smiling from ear to ear. What's it like? How's that little dude? And how's the family of 4 now in the Welch household?
Like to say that we're in it right now. Nothing that you haven't done and a lot of people haven't done, but our little Harper's about to be 17 months on Wednesday, and she's a hurricane, man. She never stops moving. Super mobile, super smart. She's a handful in the best way. And then we've got a little squish, my Brady boy. He's like slides over. He's got no muscles in his neck yet. We're working on that. Don't worry. So yeah, we've got a little bit. It's been a lot of fun. Sleep has been hard to come by for everybody. My wife's a hero. You all know that. And kind of taking the brunt of it, but it's really cool. It's, he looks so much like his sister did at this point. So I feel pretty confident that the milkman was not involved in that process. And then he's got huge hands and huge feet. And I don't have big hands. So I do got, above average sized feet. So it's pretty cool. Like he's like gripping our little finger already, and his hands are almost as big as his sister's. So it's pretty impressive. It's a blessing from God. And yeah, if you could give us anything, give us some sleep. That's all we need.
What's funny is you mentioned that your daughter has her 17-month birthday coming up. And you only have 2 kids, and just new to have 2 kids because you're still like remembering month birthdays. I got 4 boys. I forget their birthdays, more or less what month they are. So I love that part. And I always tell people, and people told me this too, and I kind of rolled my eyes and I get it. But like, these are the best days, man. They're so great. Like I know the sleep isn't what you want it to be, and I get it, but like they're just hanging out, and you can spend time with them. I mentioned to you, texting you this weekend. We had a weekend, 2 weekends, probably 2 months ago now, but we had 16 baseball games in one weekend, and it's a blast. It's a ton of fun, but like you'll love these days. So enjoy the heck out of them. And you're right, your wife is a rock star. How are you still? She hasn't left you yet. Like I don't get that.
Nope.
Why?
She's in it. She kind of like we're in it. She's in it. She's
committed.
She's committed to the cause.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Like
I said, somebody said to me once, you only got to get it right once.
Yeah.
And on my half, I got it right. Now, her half, I don't know. But
she might need a do-over. I always say with my wife, I say that like she loves a charity case. She loves a cause. She loves a project. And I think that's her lifelong project is trying to figure me out. But enough about making fun of ourselves. We have football to get to. What's this? I know it's football season to you, I think, all the time. You're always in coach mode and football mode, but we're into August. And I kind of told people, like, when you get to that August, for me at least, it's like, wow, it's here. Football's getting ready to roll. What's this month mean to you, and how excited are you to get things rolling at United Township High School?
I always felt like as I played football for 14 years. So I started in 4th grade, always started in August. And then this is year 14 coaching in some capacity. So 28 out of my 34, about to be 35 years on life have been revolved around football. And before I played, my brother played in college, and I went to every game of his with my mom. So really, my first memory is chasing him, playing with me on the field after one of his games, and I made him like play. Like we weren't just playing catch, like we were doing stuff. So thank you to him for doing that for me. But I feel like my body gets into this mode of like it knows it's time, And I'm not playing anymore. Thank God I can't. I hardly could then, but it's like a natural defense system kicks on. You run on less sleep. You run on intensity, focus. You exert more energy than you will the rest of the entire year in August because it's going to be hot. And I really feel like the first 3 weeks of camp really have I get it. We get these 20 summer practices. Yes, we've been lifting all off season, but these are like your last opportunities to polish everything up, right? And at the same time, keep your team healthy enough to get to the race. Get your horses to the race is the line I like to use. I think we got some horses this year. So how do we find that line of physicality, toughness, getting them ready to play? But at the same time, you want your Clydesdales running like Clydesdales. You want them to be fast. You want your race horses to roll, and you want your beef to be feeling good because, I'm not going to hide from it. We want our season to be longer than 9 weeks long. So we're building for something bigger than just, 9 weeks. But at the same time, we're not going to talk about winning. We will not talk about winning. We have not talked about winning because in order to win, it's not talking about winning. It's doing the things that makes you win.
Well, now I'm going to ask you about winning and try to make you talk about winning. So this will make it a little difficult, but you mentioned it that and I talk around, I know the area a little bit. I've been doing this a few years, and the people that I talk to, they really like what United Township has. I think you like what you have coming back. How much do you hear that? How much do you embrace that? And is there a balancing act between, embracing higher expectations, which is a good thing? We talked before we started. It's been since 2001 since United Township's been in the postseason. So there's that expectations that are there now. And then also, talking too much and not performing, all those kind of things. Is there a balancing act between embracing it and knowing it and getting too involved in it?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a privilege to have pressure. There's a lot of people that wore orange and black that didn't have that privilege. So this started really with the COVID era with, Dosla Gideon, Kane Smith, Sam Wilson. They kind of started building the expectation up a little bit. This is year 7. So we've had 2 years. We went 1-8 and then 4-2 and 3, 4, and 5. So we've been really close a lot. And we haven't gotten over the hump. And last year we had a great opportunity. The year before that, we had a great opportunity. But, just like this year, we're bringing a lot of veteran experience back. We worked 2 years ago with Matthew Kelly's group, and we didn't get the job done. So I'm not kidding. I know you make joke about coach talk, but this offseason, a big goal of mine was I want to go study the smartest people, the best who have ever done it. And what was their approach? And what you realize is that they never talk like Nick Saban. Everyone jokes about the process. He never talks about winning. And they won more than anybody. So I told our guys the first day of off-season workouts, I said, this group has a chance to do something that hasn't been done here in a long time. And I go, you got a chance to compete for a league championship, talking about home playoff game, all those things. You have a chance. Why? Because everyone says on paper we have all these guys coming back, and we do. We've got Isaiah Navarrete. He's going to be a 4-year varsity player. He started week 9 as a freshman against Sterling. I wish he didn't, but he did. We've got two senior linemen that are 3-year starters on the offensive line. We've got 2 2-year starters. We've got Josiah Massey, a 3-year starter at receiver, who also is going to be a 3-year starter on the basketball team. We got all these guys that have played so many snaps. But that doesn't guarantee you the outcome. So it's all about how we prepare. And we saw some things this summer in some joint practices I was really excited about. We saw a level of physicality that I don't know that I've seen out of United Township in a long time. Metamora came to town. It got a little chippy. They got a running back going to Northern Illinois, and he's a really good player. And there was 4 or 5 times where he tried to run somebody over, and he didn't go anywhere. He went lateral or backwards. And if we can play with that level of physicality and intensity, along with being a disciplined football team, take care of the football, don't give up big plays in the special teams, make plays in special teams, I think we're going to be pretty good. Just being honest.
You mentioned physicality. I want to circle back around to that because athleticism, the athletes, they've been at United Township. And the physicality part, I'm not going to say it wasn't ever there, but it's so important in high school football and setting a tone and those big guys up front and all those kind of things. A little bit later on the show, we're going to talk with Tony Stewart over at North Scott, and they got a lot coming back in the trenches. I'm a Lions fan, and they built through the trenches. Talk about those big guys up front because it is important, and not just to have experienced guys, but just nasty guys, physical guys. I mean, that's football. What do you see from your guys up front this year that has you excited?
Well, offensively, it starts with Tristan Wallerab, 3-year starter, second team all-conference on offense, which to me was kind of a joke because 2 of the coaches that didn't give him first team vote, we ran for over 300 yards on him, but we'll leave that, that's on his mind. We're moving on. And then, also a first team all conference on defense. Captain as a junior. He played as a sophomore. Mike Pomosi quit football in July that year. And Mike's obviously a state champ, great kid, love him. Football he didn't love football. So he quits and he's coming back as a junior, started as a sophomore. And we're like, we got to play this pudgy, short kid who's probably not ready, but man, he had the heart of a lion. And he found a way all year to make it happen. Well, he kept working. He got in the weight room. And last year was an absolute dog. And we find out that he had basically a pothole in his femur. So he had some serious surgery this offseason. All's good. Got cleared last Monday. Said the first time he's pain-free in 3 years.
Wow. And
he's moving better. And he's strong. He benched 225 for 15 last week. And not only is the physical skills catching up, but the intensity that he plays with and the passion that he plays with. And then Eli Oppenheimer, another 3-year starter at guard. And then we got Angel Gomez, 6'3", 300 pounds. Chase Bance, right tackle, 6'3", 300 pounds. And you start looking around and you're like, wow, these are big guys that have played varsity snaps. And in my opinion, outside of the quarterback position, bringing back experienced offensive line is the most important thing, because in high school football, you're going to have bad weather. Your quarterback's going to have off days. You're going to have drops. You're going to have 30-mile-an-hour winds. As Coach Williams, our line coach, says, run game travels. So if we can control the line of scrimmage, we can run that rock, we're going to be in good shape. And then on the defensive line, we got a guy like Riley King. If you saw him walk in the room, you'd be like, Jesus, that man looks the part. And at times he plays like he looks, and at times he doesn't. Some of that's probably some conditioning stuff, but he's working hard. Coach Martin does a great job with our defensive line. But he's 6'5", 250 pounds, and he looks like he was made in a movie, Well, can Riley King play to his potential? Guys like Jordan Pierman, Davis, HQ on the defensive line. And then, our tight end last year, Rowan Kalal, great kid. He played at 185 pounds. Well, he weighs 220 now. Now, again, what does that mean? Well, what it means is physics, okay? When I hit you and I weigh 220 pounds as opposed to 185 pounds, I'm going to create more force naturally. I call him Captain America. He walks around in his cutoff or with his shirt off, and he's big, and he's got these broad shoulders and a big chest, and he's still got some abs on him. Like, he looks like Captain America. Well, he's got to play like Captain America. So we've got all this potential. Potential doesn't mean anything, but I'm really excited about what we're able to do up front, because if we can set the tone and control the line of scrimmage, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win.
And you're smiling about those guys up front. You mentioned Isaiah Navarrete. He's got to be smiling from ear to ear, because that's a talented young man. And I've seen I'm a Lions fan. We all know that. I watched the best of all time, in my opinion. Barry Sanders have to do it without a good offensive line. Talk about Isaiah, and he knows those guys up front is going to make his Friday nights a lot easier, aren't they?
So we just we tell this all the time, and, we're going against our defense. And right now, aside from one or two guys, we're really kind of being able to two-platoon. Obviously some of those O-linemen are going to rotate it on the D-line, but we're almost completely two-platoon, so we can get a best-on-best look. And it's driving Coach Rome and the defensive coaches crazy, because they can fit everything right. And if we just get a body, Isaiah's going to make a cut. And he's top-end fast. Like, legitimately, he's had some big runs in his time, sophomore, junior year, and I think he's stronger. He's gained 10 pounds. But he knows. He don't say much. He's gotten a little more vocal. We named him a captain. He's one of our 4 captains for this year. He's earned that with his work ethic, not just his body of work. But if we can just, not let free runners through, if we can pick up blitzers and get a body on a body, he is going to make somebody miss. And then the best part is now, because he's gotten stronger, he'll finish. He's not afraid to put his shoulder down. He's one of the most physical kids. And that's what sometimes it scares me, because he only weighs 170 pounds. Like, dude, you're not David Montgomery. He's more like a Jameer Gibbs, to use your team's example. Yeah. So, David Montgomery tends to be the hammer. Jameer Gibbs, Sonic comes in and runs by people, but Isaiah's got the ability to do both. And then another kid, Leo Sim, he made his hay last year on defense, but I think he had 5 touchdowns on offense. The only sophomore on the first team all-conference team. Well, that's our backup for Isaiah. So Isaiah gets tired. Come on, Leo. And then, Leo is only going to be a junior, but maybe not as top-end fast, but super agile, super smart, catches the ball out of the backfield and does a lot of good things. We don't really have like a Thunder, but we got a couple options of Lightning. So it's been really exciting. And, I think, the quarterback is going to have a nice life being able to hand the ball off and throw it when we need to.
Let me talk to you about quarterback before we talk about the Western Mix 6 in general. And that's always who's the quarterback, what's it going to be, what's your quarterback position look like this year. You mentioned run game travels. That's true. Like to be balanced. I know you do. Talk about a quarterback position and what you guys have coming back.
Well, Christian Peterson graduated, and then we had a 3-year starter in Matthew Kelly before that, and then a 2-year starter with Dasla Gideon. So Hopefully getting back to having another 2-year starter. Jonathan Drake's going to be a junior. He was Christian's backup last year and played on the JV level, had a very good year, plays basketball, great athlete. I call him Spicoli. That's kind of the best way I can describe him. Just dazed and confused. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's him. Yeah. That's my quarterback. Great arm. Actually, we were at Illinois 7-on-7, and he hit a deep out from the far hash against Rochester on the sideline to Josiah, and the Illinois wide receivers coach said, "Who is that?" My photographer was there, Mark Vandewille. He heard it. Then they had a brief conversation. So the talent's there. He's very intelligent. He knows he's picking up on things very quickly. We're talking about defense and coverage and, conflict players and who can't we account for and when we got to check out of a play. And he's talking the language. It's just he's got to keep growing up. He's got to focus on the right things. Like most 16-year-old boys, there's distractions. We all had them, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
There's just a lot of pressure in this moment for him to be mature and lead this team. But the good news is he doesn't have to be the leader because there's other leaders around him. But he has, naturally as a quarterback, you have to lead to some regard. But teammates love him. He can run it a little bit, but he's built like a beanpole. So probably going to run the ball a little bit less with him than we have in our past with our quarterbacks. But feel good about the guys we are going to give the rock to. So we'll just throw it and hand it off. And then every once in a while.
United Township head coach Nick Welch joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. I know you got things to do today, so I can't keep you forever. But first, the schedule and that LaSalle Peru game each year. And it's funny, I've been on even talking last year in previews and Greg Armstrong and I have talked with you from the West guys that like that game it's a tone setter sometimes. It's always a fantastic game. Obviously it hasn't gone your way a couple times. How big is that first game? It's LaSalle Peru. I like the way the schedule kind of fits for you. Some big games at home. I want to look down and I think Sterling's at home. Quincy's at home. Moline's at home. So a lot of big games at the Soul Bowl. Talk about game one and then the rest of that schedule for you guys.
I think game one's very important. It's a good team from a good league. They're tough. They're physical. We've lost some close ones. They've kind of got us one year. And I don't think that game's necessarily like derailed us in any way, but it obviously has a huge implication. First of all, it's a home game. We want to start fast at home. We want to set the tone right off the jump. We were 4-0 at home last year. That's great. So getting them at home, I think, and playing at LP is very tough. Howard Fellows Stadium, yeah. It's a beautiful venue. They got turf down there, but it's just different, man. It's different. It's a tough place to go play. So getting them at home will be really big for us. And without question, new head coach, what are they going to do differently schematically? Are they going to do different things schematically? Found some things in the newspaper, but we don't have any film on them. So we're going to have to go into that week one of just kind of guessing a little bit and trying to figure out, they're going to know what we do. We're not changing anything. We just have to do it better. But we're not going to know exactly what they're going to do, but we'll adjust on the fly. That's like the best part of having those 4 linemen coming back, right, on offense. And defensively having 10 starters back is, okay, it doesn't matter what we thought. This is what they're doing. Here's our rule. Let's go, right? And that's where the experience can help. And then, Chicago Muchin coming back up. People can say what they want. Their coach came up to us after the game last year and said, we want to come here as long as you guys will have us. He goes, our kids do not get to play in this type of environment, in this type of stadium ever. And you treat us well. We feed them after the game. We help them out. We give them some equipment. We pay for their transportation. Because we're just trying to help them out, right? They're coming out to us, and they get the marching band. They get the senior night. They get a full crowd. They get to smell the pork chops, and they play in front of a full stadium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pretty cool stadium, really too.
Cool. Yeah, it's not bad. I think the best turf, definitely the best design. I think if I had to go, the Sterling total picture with the school in the background and all the brick matches, it's like very small college field.
Yeah.
The Jumbotron, but just the football stadium, so bowl. That's just my opinion. I'm
real
biased.
quick, can I get your thoughts on Mike Morrissey Memorial Field over at Browning
good.
Field? I mean,
now he doesn't have to ask me to practice on the turf every once in a while. So he's got his own turf. That's good. I know he's wanted it for a long time. I mean, he's got the Morrissey Mansion, with the field house. I mean, I that guy complains, and it's like, you get everything you want, Mike. You get everything you want. You're the best looking coach in the Quad Cities. Everybody knows it. You shave your legs, really show off those calves. Like, I mean, now he's got turf. He apparently he don't like his locker room situation. That's the vibe I got from your little interview with him.
Well, that'll probably be changing here soon.
Yeah, I mean, next thing you know, they're gonna build one. They're gonna just call it the Modome, right? And they're gonna So, but going back to the Big Six, very interesting year. Quincy had the two best years in their entire school's history playing football, and a great senior class with Braden Little, Tykel Hammers, Jarius Rice, Rico Clay. I mean, that was a legit football team. And that was those. And honestly, they were good kids. They played hard. They played the right way. Had a great season. Moline brings a lot back. But like with Quincy, like what's next? Like, I don't know. Like, we don't know, because literally besides the linebacker and the big lineman, like, all those guys were seniors. So I know that they're going to be a confident team, right? In that program, they expect that now. Like, those young kids, that's all they know. So that's going to have a good impact on them. Coach Little does a great job. Moline brings a lot back on the defensive line and at some skill positions. I think they lose a decent amount of O-linemen. The quarterback's gone. But, again, Moline, they're the biggest school in the league. They're going to reload. They've been good at the lower levels. We know that. Sterling, one of the best coach programs in the conference, always. They're going to be just like their head coach. They're tough. They're physical. They're disciplined. He can say whatever he wants, and he doesn't say bad things, but I know again, when you've been to a semifinal, you kind of look at everything through that lens. Well, we're not as good as we used to be. Okay, well, they're still going to be good. Geneseo under Coach Furlong, they're only going to get better. I know that they lost a lot of guys up front, so they might be a little ripe early on. But as those kids get confidence, they're going to get better. And then, Rocky always has athletes. I don't know. I haven't heard much about them. I don't know about their numbers, but they got a quarterback that can throw the ball a freaking mile. So I'm assuming they're going to throw the ball a lot, And then Galesburg Coach Hickey's, son was a freshman last year, and that freshman group was really good. I imagine that a lot of those kids are going to be playing varsity. So, and then on. So, I don't know how that's going to go. Glad they're playing, but I imagine there's going to be some tough times there, but hopefully they stick it out. So I think that going back to it, the last 2 years, we kind of knew Quincy was the best. The 2 years before, we kind of knew Moline was the best, and it showed, right? They ran through the league undefeated. So it'll be interesting to see.
I think it's wide open, where you don't know who exactly the winner is. And it's been, like you just mentioned, a few years since there hasn't been an odds-on favorite to win the conference. I do think like you just mentioned, there's a lot of talent. There's a lot of, and I think there's teams this year that, and Quincy has in the past, and Moline and Sterling, but I think as a whole, the conference can do some damage in the postseason as well. Excited to see how everyone does as that moves on. Before I let you go, we're going to make you hang out with us, or you're going to have to hang out with me 2 straight Sundays in a row. The 17th is the View from the West kickoff party down at the other bar. Anybody who wants to get down there, make sure you get down there 5:00. And then the 24th is the banquet. Are we being too rough on you being a young dad and all that kind of stuff? Like, can you swing 2 Sundays in a row to hang out, especially when the first one's at a bar with a bunch of other coaches?
I told Greg, I said, listen, I can't come for the whole time, but if you give me a window, I'll be there.
Yeah.
And that's just, listen, like I want to stay married. Like, that is priority number 1.
Hear you.
And right now, Harper probably just woke up. I just got a text from her, and she's 1 on 2. And these are going to be long days, and Saturday and Sunday are really the only family days. And once we get into the season, so like the the Big Six kickoff on a Sunday before game one. A little tough because that's our meeting day, but we'll get it figured out.
Did you like that change for the banquet? Because I don't know if it was my idea, but I mentioned to a few people that they would get a better turnout on a Sunday than a Wednesday. I mean, you didn't like having to leave practice early and try to get over there and all that kind of stuff, did you?
No, but Sundays are like game plan days.
No,
so
I get you.
I mean, beggars can't be choosers.
And we're celebrating high school football. And
I think most importantly, we need more people there. I know the Rock Island Boosters do a great job, and that's a lot on their behalf. So it would be better. But you guys kind of mentioned it. Like, I think it was on here. You guys, people are kind of spoiled now with YouTube and
information's everywhere.
Like, everybody knows about everybody's team, and they're not even in. They don't even have skin in the game. So I gotta go listen to these coaches talk. I already know about their teams. Yeah. Well, how about you come have dinner, have a drink, listen to the most average MC ever, and then some above average coaches give speeches. Like, if you love high school ball, and I feel like this area is so good, like, come on out, let's have a good time. I promise I'll make some jokes about all the coaches. And some coaches get more than others, but it is what it is. Like, let's just have a good time and support. That's what I think.
Now, I'll say this too. I got jokes written. I got jokes about a coach that's not even going to be there. I'm really excited about. So I don't know if that makes. I'll
was a coach not going to be there?
I text it to you. It's. I'm really excited about it. Everything. I do like literally. I'll sit here in like May, and something will happen with one of you idiots, and I'll be like, "Oh, I can't wait to. I got to make. And it'll just come to me. It's great. And then sometimes
Mike probably can't make it, huh? Like, he can't make the ball party.
I'm worried because I used to be worried because at WQID I didn't want to say something too edgy. Now I can say whatever I want. I can't fire myself, so it's no holds barred. So, hey, I know you got a lot to get to. Congratulations on the little dude. I'm happy for you. And as Mike Morrissey and I mentioned last week, you look good, man. Like, you look like you're fit and in shape and all that kind of stuff. So keep doing what you're doing. Win a ton of games. And I want to talk to you a lot this year on the show. And that means you're winning if we're doing that. So hopefully we talk real soon.
Hey, thank you for having me. I think I'm the last coach at UT to be on here. So, you had two All-American coaches on here before me, and that's just amazing because they haven't played varsity football in a couple years. But that's okay.
They keep
better late than never, but Drake said never late is better. Just remember that.
They keep getting new coaches,
Yeah, I know. It's fine.
I will say that about UT. I have had almost every day coach in that building on, but y'all are winning a lot of games. Like, when you look at your programs, basketball's good. The track is fantastic. I mean, everybody's doing great. But I am worried. How is the Scott Harding era going? I worry about that. I'm afraid he's going to mess things up.
Like anybody with a new venture, very eager and working hard. So, yeah, I mean,
a little too eager.
Really average golfer, but honestly, it's been good. Bam was great. Loved him for my first 6 years. Like, and it's not even like massive change. It's just little things. Everyone's got their own thing, right? So, Harding texts me, "Hey, can we meet Thursday?" Yeah, 9 a.m. And we got all of our game day itinerary, pregame, like routine stuff hammered out, and boom, done. Like, it's just different in its own way. So, he's learning on the fly. We're adapting to, things that he wants and expects, and getting lower level games scheduled, having a great sense of urgency with all that. Again, it's just different, but I really enjoyed working with Bam. He was really good to me and my family. And obviously I have a great relationship with Coach Harding, and I think he's doing a good job so far.
He's good people. Coach Welch, you're good people as well. Be good. We'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thanks, Daz.
All right, that is Nick Welch, head coach of the United Township football program. Big things for the Panthers, I believe, this year. Coach Welch, I'm excited about his guys as well. We got more to get to. Coming up after the break, we'll head to the Iowa side of the river. New head coach at North Scott, Tony Stewart, and much more right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? That fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak, with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Yeah, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, August 4th. Hopefully you've had a great weekend. It was a fun-filled, great weekend here in the Quad Cities. Great weather. Great sports as well. The Quad City Steamwheelers back at home for a playoff game for the first time since 2007. They did not disappoint. The Wheelers knocking off Jacksonville 57-41 to advance in the IFL playoffs. And joining me now, the head coach of the Quad City Steamwheelers, and a guy smiling these days. But you're back at work. I can already tell you ain't enjoying anything. What happened on Saturday is done, and you're moving on to Green Bay. But before Green Bay, Coach, congrats, man. Saturday had to be a ton of fun.
It was amazing, man. Something that, since I've been here, I think it was 2018 when we first started. Obviously, 20 and 21, we were dormant and COVID and all that. Not being able to, give our fans who support us so much that home field game in the playoffs and get that back here in this city was something I've always strived for, right? Obviously, we got to the championship a couple years back, but we still didn't have a home field game. So they can get the energy of that playoff feel, and to have it finally was real special, man. It was exciting. Took several moments just to be blessed and thankful about it, and then obviously when you walk out and our fans was strolling those towels around, man, it was crazy. It was a crazy atmosphere, and it was so loud. It was the loudest it could have ever been, and our guys fed off that energy. You mentioned they fed off of it. Coach, you guys get off to a good start. They make a difference. I know I sound like I'm beating a drum every week. We kind of talk about the Wheelers, but everyone talks about the 12th man in football. It's the 9th man in the IFL. They made a difference, didn't they, Coach? Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about our home schedule just our home record in general is pretty crazy. Barely lose here, so that's a testament to that ninth man. We always try to find ways to find energy on the road, and I always say that to our guys. We got to find the injury. We got to find it. I never say that here. I never say it here because I know as soon as they walk out that tunnel and they hear those fans going crazy, that's the energy they need. And so this playoff game was very, very impactful. That ninth man was huge for us, and our guys just fed off that energy, and I think it really shook up the other team as well. And then obviously we got another really, really big one, the chance to get the conference championship right here at home before the championship can be huge. And that energy is going to be crazy. And we need all of it because Green Bay is going to be tough. They're going to come in here and try to get to the championship because they just got knocked out in the Eastern Conference when they were at home last year. They had the game at home and they lost. So I know they understand how hard it is, to win on the road, but they're going to be ready. So we got to have our ninth man here going crazy.
Man, I can't wait for this weekend, and we'll talk about Green Bay in a second. But I got to chat with you about the game itself, and you guys played from ahead, and that means a lot in sports, obviously. But in the IFL, I think it means a great deal to maybe being chased instead of having to chase and not make any more mistakes and be perfect. Talk about getting that first half lead and kind of being in the driver's seat. It wasn't easy. I know you probably got extra gray hairs today and all that kind of stuff. It's never easy, but you guys came out and played well early, and that sets the tone, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There's a big difference when you're playing from behind and playing from ahead. I think obviously being able to see how that was this past weekend was huge, but you tend to make mistakes because you're pressing to catch up. And when you're ahead, you almost get into your groove. You start getting real comfortable and also do too. You're not trying to panic and think about, okay, how do I force a touchdown? How do I find a way to score fast? Things like that. So our offense knew exactly, what was at stake. We've been playing up and down all year long, and the playoffs is not the moment to have one of those down times. And they started off so fast, and at that first drive, I knew it was going to be tough to stop us. I think we almost scored every drive but one. We had one mistake at the end of one drive on the goal line. We moved the ball, really, really well. And once we jumped ahead, I just knew how we reacted, how the fans just took in our guys, that we were going to play pretty well on offense, and that held through the whole game.
Head coach of the Quad City Steamwheelers, Cory Ross, joining me right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. We had Stud Rudd on a couple times this year. Recently, we had him. We talked about what it meant, and even coach, or not coach, although Doug Bland may think he's the coach sometime. Judging from the text messages he tells me he sends you and all that kind of stuff, he's very locked in. But you got a guy like Stud Rudd, who's that local guy that's the kind of the face of the organization. And both Stud Rudd and Doug Bland kind of talked about Jordan Vesey being that local guy that's kind of stepping into that stardom role. 4 touchdowns, coach. I mean, it's nothing new. He's been doing it all season. Talk about the performance from that young man in his hometown, in his home area, and probably the biggest professional football game of his career.
Yeah, he's just been a grinder, man. He's been special this year, and it's a testament to how hard he worked in the offseason. He came in first year last year, barely played the early games, and then he came on towards the midseason and later in the part of season, started to show us what he can be. And he took a very serious offseason, came in really, really great shape, and then he also understood the system and allowed him to be able to jump in and flourish right away. And then, of course, you think about the last couple of games, he was kind of silent, but people don't realize that you're still doing the little things that we need you to do, even though you're not having the touchdowns. But this game is just rewarding in every way, and so however you get it, you got to get it. However you need to do to help the team, you have to. And he's been able to do that. And what a way to reward him on our first playoff game in 18 years, and he has a 4-touchdown game. So that's just kudos to who he is and how hard he works in practice and just throughout this entire year.
Absolutely. Cory Ross joining us right now. There is another playoff game at home against a Green Bay team. I want to talk about Green Bay in a second because it's already a heck of a rivalry, and you guys have played some heck of a games this year already, but to be back home in another round, and I think the people that came on Saturday, if they're not coming back, then there's something wrong with them, because I've already talked to so many people that are like, we were there, it was awesome, we can't wait for next week. What does it mean to be back at home? And I don't want to say duplicate what happened last week, but to get that vibrant arena rolling like it was, how excited are you guys? And organizationally, what do you guys do? Because it is about telling people in the summertime on a Saturday evening, come on inside and watch some great football.
Yeah, I mean, the energy and just what you're doing right now, just the love that you're showing and the support, man, it's here. You know, I think the people know now too. After this last game, like you said, I've been getting more and more calls about tickets and how can I get some, where can I go, than we have in the past, because you know people love being around winners, and we're showing we have a winning culture, winning team here, and of course you want to be a part of it. You don't want to miss what can truly happen here. Is going to be something special, and so people don't want to miss that. They want to be a part of it, and so I'm excited about how this weekend's going to go, how the tickets are starting to be sold, and I'm excited on the things that we're going to do as an organization, getting 2 home games, or get two more games in general that you hope to have. It's not always guaranteed that we have them. It's just special for us and exciting for us because our staff works so hard, man. Those front office staff people that people don't get to see in person and talk to all the time, and all they get to see is the football players, the touchdowns, and all that good stuff. The people that are working at this arena, even the people that work the arena, that are here every day, even when we're not in season, giving them the time and the funness that this game creates and the energy that it does. It just excites me in general, and we're so excited to and blessed to actually be able to do this for our community, our team, for this arena, and for sure our fans, man, because that's what this is about. These guys, they grind it all year long, man, and some of them left their families at home and really came out here to get to this point where we are right now. We're 1 game away, and so we always had a 1-0 mentality, so we got to get this one.
Coach, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I hate Green Bay. Like, I hate Green Bay. I'm a Lions fan, so I hate Green Bay. I'm a Wheelers fan. I just don't like them. Like, I think earlier this year we were undefeated. We went up there and we lost, and it's a rivalry, and it is. But it also does seem like a respectful rivalry when it comes to like what you think they do, what they think we do well. Can you explain the rivalry? I hate them. I can say that. But I think you guys have it a little bit different. It's going to be a dogfight on Saturday. 2 great organizations.
And the rivalry goes all the way back. We call it the Battle of the Corys because, of course, their head coach name is Cory Roberson, and mine is Cory Roth, obviously. So even when we went dormant, I went out and I helped Bismarck and went out there and coached them. And we swept Green Bay when I was there. We beat them 4 times in 1 season. And so I think that started it big time. And so now I feel like Coach Roberson's trying and everything to study me up and find what I like to do and what I don't like to do. And he's done a pretty good job. Even this year, they did a great job. They got us 2-1. And I'm just excited. So more than ever that I like to see what we have and go up against them, full tilt. We get a lot of guys back that hadn't played, especially the last time we played them. And so this is going to be one of those games where I think both teams are coming in pretty healthy, and now we get to see what we got and who's got the best shot. So I'm excited about it. It's a great rivalry. I love their families. Their ownership group has been amazing, and the coaching staff has been good, man. It's always been a great rivalry, and this one's going to be even bigger this Saturday.
No, it's going to be a blast. Do you have to? Don't give anything away. I know you won't, but because you know each other so much, and this is the 4th game of the year, are you finding yourself, not reinventing the wheel, but tweaking and finding different? You have to almost, because they have so much on you. You have so much on them. It really is. I don't know. It's a chess match, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's gonna come down to one, just effort in general. Who's gonna give the most effort. who's going to protect the football, and who's going to catch the team in the scheme that they didn't want to be in at that particular time, right? So it's going to be one of those games, man. But at the end all be all, those guys that go out there in that football field, the guys you guys are cheering for, that are laying it all out on the line, it's going to come up to them. And that's the beauty part about this game. I'm just a vessel, right? I get to draw things up and make it look cute. They got to execute, and when they do, it's all on them, man. And some special things happen that I can't do from the sideline. So I'm just excited for these guys. And a lot of our guys haven't had this opportunity to get this far and play in the Eastern Conference in general, even a championship. And so the blessed feeling that they are having, with the humbleness that they're having, and understanding one game at a time is really showing up right now in these playoffs. And I'm excited, for this practice this week and getting ready to, play at home.
Couple more for you before I let you go. It's been a season. It's been a journey. Won 6 straight, then lose some. You've had injuries. You battled through. You've had an injury. You've battled through. How are you health-wise? How are you when it comes to being back on the sidelines? I know you are and excited and all that kind of stuff. But think back, Coach. It's been a hell of a journey this year, both on and off the field for you.
Yeah, I spoke at our season ticket holder event a week ago. I think it was a week ago. Yeah, and I was just talking about how what we went through this year and the nerves that I was having, even going through it, going under the knife, getting surgery, not knowing how they were going to practice while I'm not there, how we were going to be able to adapt from not being on the field and calling plays from the top. Rolling around on a scooter during and after games, trying to figure out what venue has an elevator, if I had to go up, or do I have to coach from the stands. It was one heck of a year. But you said something earlier when you just mentioned Kevin Rudd, but our vets in general, that's the reason, man. That's the reason why this team was able to persevere through all of that. Those guys understood the job. They understood what we wanted to do and how we needed to handle it. And they gave me everything that they needed to give me while I was trying to get myself as healthy as I can to get back on that field. I'm excited about being able just to walk. I still have the boot on, but I'm on the field, and I can't run yet, but because the Lord knows I want to go running down the field and celebrating when they score. But my trainer, Greg Wainwright, Craig does not mess around. He sees me doing anything, he gives me that look. So I gotta tone my energy down a little bit, but I'm just so blessed and so happy that this team was able to endure what I went through and been able to survive and still end up being a number 1 seed. And now we're sitting here in the Eastern Conference Championship. So it's been a dream, man, for sure. And so it's not over yet. That's what we keep saying. It's not over yet.
No, I love that. And personally wise, you're a Quad Cityan, man. You've been here for so long. Big picture it. I know you kind of just did this season, but a big picture, and you've been to those championship games with this franchise and all those kind of things, but you moved back here in 2018, and you're a Quad Cityan. You're one of us now, whether you like it or not. What's it mean big picture wise to know that you have? And will it go fast? Will this week go fast, or will it drag along? Do you want game day like now, or will it go fast, or do you know yet how it'll be?
It's already been going fast. I can't believe we're at the Eastern Conference champion already. So I got a feeling it's going to go by fast. And every day that it does, I'm just trying to find time to really sit down and just enjoy and relive the moments that's gotten us here, right? You talked about being here, driving back and forth from Nebraska every day just to help build this franchise and help pull in sponsors and help get guys places to eat and get guys places to live. It's been a journey for here for sure. And so to go back and look at where we started to where we are right now is pretty awesome. And now sitting here, exactly what we want to do with 2 playoff games, and this one is the Eastern Conference champion at home. It's pretty special, man. So I'm gonna take in every moment, every day that I can, but I'm still gonna give everything I got as a coach. It's just in my DNA. So it's not gonna stop until until the clock strikes 0-0 and we figure out who won and lost, man.
All right. Well, I'll tell you this. One, I'm going to get down there this weekend, so I won't have to chase you down because you can't run, and I'm even I can catch you. So I'll catch you this weekend sometime. 2 favors. One, Saturday is my birthday. I don't know. I don't need you to buy me a beer or anything or get me anything nice, but a W for my birthday, would that be too much to ask?
I'll tell you what, we're gonna try our hardest to get that. That is in the cards, and so that'd be a heck of a gift. I'll see if I can
put that up on the board. Put up on the board. Randazzo's birthday. That's motivation enough. If those boys aren't gonna play for me, right? Some old 46-year-old, nobody, that can't motivate any more than that. And then 2, what I want, and I won't put a cart ahead of a horse, and so you don't have to say anything. I'm a jinx guy, so I don't want you to say anything. But when y'all win the championship, I want you to come into studio because you've not been into the studio yet. So get the job done this weekend. Go hit the road, win one more. I want the trophy. I want yourself. I want you guys in studio. We'll get some chips and salsa. Everything will be great. Okay?
We'll do it. We will do that. I'll make sure that happens.
All right. I love it. Coach, I appreciate you. We usually do Steamwheeler Wednesdays. We're going to do that this week. I'm hoping Destiny's watching this because I want Jordan Vesey this Wednesday. I think that'd be fun. But, Coach, get to work. You got a lot to do. Stay healthy. Don't do anything stupid. We'll see you this weekend.
Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for having me.
All right. Coach Ross, Cory Ross with the Quad City Steamwheelers. An exciting time. It's an awesome time of year. And like he mentioned, they rebooted this entire organization. And Doug Bland talked about it last week a little bit. It was a leap of faith, and they had to start from the ground up. And now to be to a point where you're the number 1 seed, you're hosting the entire playoffs all the way through, and hopefully you're heading to a championship game is a lot of fun. And it's August 9th, this Saturday, and baseball's done. I know baseball's done. I live it. Football, high school wise, they ain't playing Saturday night. There's no practices Saturday night. There's not a lot of excuses. So head down to Vibrant Arena. I know the people that went last week are probably going to go back this week, but great ticket prices. I've seen them online already. They're going to be doing a bunch of different other promotions as well. We'll continue to talk about the Wheelers throughout this week. I know on Wednesday, Destiny, I want Jordan Vesey. That's my hope. So we'll try to figure out getting Jordan Vesey on the show here and a bunch of other stuff as well. We'll keep previewing stuff as well throughout the week. I'd love to do something on Friday with them as well. But again, Friday will be in Iowa City, off the air at Iowa Football Media Day, the entire show from up there. So, man, what a great time of year. What a fun time of year. Wheelers in the postseason, football, practices, getting rocking and rolling, college football, NFL, all that kind of stuff. It's a ton of fun. So, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Let's stick with the football theme. Coming up next, in the first hour, we talked with Nick Welch and kind of previewed United Township. Next, after the break, new North Scott head coach, Tony Stewart, been there for 16 years. He's going to join us. We're going to talk all about what we can expect from North Scott football as we continue our OTA high school football previews. That and a little bit later on, we'll talk a little wrestling with Don Umland as well. We got a lot to get to. It's a jam-packed Monday right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We mentioned last week, when August gets here, it officially means football season is here, and that is the case. High school football season is now less than 4 weeks away. Over the next couple weeks, we're going to talk to as many high school coaches on both sides of the river as possible as we preview the season and get ready what should be a very fun fall on the high school gridiron. We'll go to the Iowa side right now and welcome maybe the newest head coach on the Iowa side of the river, somebody who's new at this head coaching stuff. He's an old face when it comes to coaching in the area. North Scott's Tony Stewart joins us. First and foremost, my friend, thank you for doing this. Did you have a good summer? I appreciate you doing it.
Yeah, happy to be on. I appreciate you asking me right away and getting to hop on this morning before we get rolling. And yeah, we had a good summer. I was pleased with our kids. They did everything we asked them to do, and just kind of kept things rolling as far as the culture standpoint, and we're excited about where we're going. So.
We did speak with you earlier this year when you got the head coaching job, and you were excited, ready to rock and roll. We talked about the transition and what it might look like. What has it looked like? Obviously, you're someone very familiar with the program, still a lot of familiar faces in the program. What has that transition been like for yourself, your staff, and most importantly for your kids?
Yeah, we had a staff meeting last night at my house, just to kind of get prepared for camp today and moving forward. And one of the things, we talked about is, even back, when we did our first interview, I'm not necessarily trying to be Kevin, but we've got a blueprint of how we've done things for the last 16 years. So looking back at kind of, our previous outlines, practice plans and schedules and things like that, at first I kind of was like, man, I shouldn't just look at it and try to repeat it. But then again, I'm like, well, that's exactly what we do every other year is look at it and make adjustments, and I've coached for a long time, and that's what you do. You kind of look at what you've done in the past, and then you make adjustments based on what you feel like is going to help you moving forward. And I think that took me a minute, just the beginning of the year, beginning of summer, understanding that it's okay to do that. But then now it's marrying a little bit of new with some of the old stuff, and it's been good. And then from the kids' standpoint, I think for the first couple weeks, it was like, well, you're still Coach Stu, and which I am. I will never change. It's just a little bit of a different role, right? So the relationship piece, I think, is really important. It always has been for me as a coach. That's still there, but I also realize the kids are going to look at me just a little bit differently because I'm in a different seat. But it's been good. They've adjusted, and I've been pleased with how they've reacted. So,
is there anything that you've come across, and it's been a short amount of time as a head coach, that you didn't expect? Was there any big surprise, or what's been the biggest maybe adjustment for you as you go from being a coach on staff to being the head coach at North Scott High School?
I wouldn't say I didn't expect it, but it's hard to wrap your head around it when you're not in that seat. Is just all the non-football stuff that has to deal with football. It's a lot. It's there, and that's one of the things I actually enjoy and I thrive with. But it's also, especially being the front end. Once you get rolling, you're used to it. I think it'll be a little bit smoother as far as just me knowing what I want to do, when I want to do it. But yeah, it's just a lot more behind the scenes work than people probably realize. And even me, again, I knew it was going to be there, but until you get in it, you don't necessarily know, this email from this. And I mean, there's just a lot of things, but it's good.
Yeah, it's good the season gets rolling because now you can focus on what you want to focus on, and that's football. And that's kind of what we'll switch to. You talked about your staff. and getting that staff in place, some familiar faces and then some new faces as well. Talk about putting that staff together. And I think, I give Coach Tippett a ton of credit, one of my favorite people, fantastic head coach, but he relied on his staff. He knew how to delegate. He relied on you guys. And I think that's probably something you're going to do the same with. How important was putting together your staff and the guys that you have around you?
Really important. We have quite a few guys coming back from our previous staff. I can name all those guys, but Max Duvall, Ken Dennison, Joe Greenwood, these guys are guys that have come back. Dale Tufty, already, they've always been involved and helped Coach Tip and been that guy. But for me this year, I feel like they've gone even more above and beyond just because it hasn't been, Kevin was 18 years, so he kind of had things a certain way, and they've been really good this year at saying, hey, I'll do this. I'll help with that. Let me do this. And that's been really good. And then we've got a lot of young guys, which I think is awesome because we have, we have been around a long time, and the ability to inject some youth has been great with our kids. When I first started, I was the young, cool guy, right, that brought the energy. And now I'm a little bit less young and maybe not quite as cool as I was, but we got some of those guys on staff now, so I'm excited for them also. And they're good football people. They've got a lot of knowledge. They understand the game. They're passionate, and I think that's and they want to help kids. And just you talking about how the staff. One of the things we talked about last night at our staff meeting was we're better together. I'm not a dictator. I'm gonna hear my ideas and opinions, but give me yours, and you make us better because we're better as a unit, not with one or two guys running the show. So.
Absolutely. You look at this team moving forward, and one of the things I talked to Coach Tippett about when he stepped down was that he likes what's coming back. It's going to be a good team, he thought, no pressure. But talk about those guys that you do have back, because you mentioned there's an experience at some really key positions up front. And I think when you look at North Scout football, all the pieces kind of fall together, but it's what happens up front that makes you guys what you are every year. And there's experience in the trenches. Talk about that experience in the trenches, some of those guys returning. And as a new head coach, you got to like that you got those big uglies up there to kind of lead the way figuratively and literally on Friday nights.
Yeah, that's we're pretty experienced in our O&D lines. We had some injuries last year, one of them being Jace Tippett, and that was game 3, maybe 3 or 4. So we had to learn to live without him last year. Had some growing pains on the line and at linebacker, but we grew, and due to that, we really we returned 5 guys with starting experience on the offensive line. We really ended up starting 1 senior on the O-line last year, and we rotated another sophomore and a junior at guard, and they're both coming back. So then we had another sophomore playing left tackle. On our D-line, we had pretty much 3 returning starters. Gerard was really good defensively for us, but he also had some injuries last year. So we started last year a sophomore or 2 sophomores and 1 junior on our D-line, and they're all returning. So we're pretty excited. And then to add to that, really excited about our junior class. We've got some good athletes and some good O-line, D-line guys, as well as some skill positions. And as far as our skill guys coming back, we got some experience in a couple places, but that's going to be we're going to be a little bit green there. But I also like the kids we have. Even that's just because they're new, it's just getting some experience. We're still excited about who we have. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Stewart joining him right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Coach, you look at some of those new guys. What are some of those new guys? I always, as an old sportscaster, would love knowing who was coming, if that makes any sense. When you call a name a couple of years in a row, I don't mispronounce it. This is going to be a little different this year. You mentioned those skill positions. What are some names that you are excited to see take a bigger role and kind of do some bigger things for the Lancers this year?
Yeah, so one of our returning starters, Landon Gollinghorst, he was a corner for us last year. He'll probably continue to play corner, but play a little bit of offense as well. Brady Hubner, he's got some starting experience as a senior, but he'll be coming back a little more offensive and defensive combination, I guess. He'll play a little bit of both sides. Some seniors, those two are seniors. Some of the juniors we got coming, skill position-wise, Miller Haight, he'll be, he's a pretty good athlete. He's been a 2-year starter on the varsity basketball team. Maybe didn't start as a freshman, but he played a lot. He's a good kid, good athlete. Evan Cruzy, he's back. He was Gerard's kind of backup last year, but Gerard was injured quite a bit, so Evan got a lot of experience at running back. So he'll be another guy to keep an eye on. Ryan Block's a kid I think's got a high ceiling if he really puts work in and stays healthy. Ryder Mayer, those are all the guys I'm kind of thinking offensively right now. Boy, I could go down the list. I don't want to. There's a lot of other kids that if you're listening, I got a lot of confidence in you too. So
yeah, no,
I got other guys to think about. So
I put Coach on the spot. It's like asking your favorite kid. You got to make sure you name all of them and all those kind of things as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So.
You look at motivation for this season, and obviously you're a new coach, and there's that storyline if you look at North Scott football. But you guys were at the Dome last year. It's been a successful program for a long time. How motivated are the guys that are coming back? Because it was an injury-filled season. You mentioned Jace Tippett getting hurt and players going in and out of the lineup, and you guys weathered a storm, made it to the Dome, made it to the state semifinals. How motivated are these kids to kind of continue what's been going on at North Scott and take it a step further and play in the biggest games that they possibly can?
Yeah, I think they are motivated to be the best they can be. And that I know sometimes it gets cliche with coaches, but we don't focus on wins and losses. We never have, right? You focus on how you do your business day to day. One of the things we've been emphasizing this summer and will continue throughout the year's intent. Every rep, every practice position or practice session, you want to have max intent. I could go back to earlier in the summer. We talked about it. We had a great practice. And then there was another day where, every rep is intentional. You're thinking about why you're doing it before the rep. You're not just going through it. And we were 3 minutes in, and I was bouncing around a little bit, and our quarterbacks were just taking their drops. And I stopped. I said, that is 75%. I said, that is not max intent. And then their level raise. So to me, it's learning. That's easy to say, but man, it's hard to do. It's learning how to be intentional every play, every snap for 2 hours of practice, and then taking that on to Friday night. And then if you do that, we'll put you in a position to be the best we can. And if you do that, to me, you're okay with the results that happen as long as you're playing clean. But our guys are motivated to be as good as they can be.
You look at, and that's one thing I've always been impressed with Coach Tippett and North Scott, is that you're one of the programs that I would always point to where you got better from week 1 to week 4 to week 7 to week 9. Is that something that you kind of think about as a head coach, that there's going to be improvement during the season, there should be improvement during the season, and you want to continue to get better as this thing moves on?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you want to be playing your best football when you get to the district football and then into the playoffs. What that allows you to do is it allows every kid to have an opportunity. If you figure out what the fit is on the field, and just because we think they're this position or they're going to be playing this side of the ball, maybe as you get going, you realize there's a better fit somewhere. And we've done that. Already we've got some kids that we think we're going to shift around positions moving into this week. Just because of what we've seen this summer. I think as a coach, you have to be adaptable. When you do that and you try to build throughout the year, I think that's really important. And then, wouldn't you rather be playing your best at the end than at the beginning? I think that's important. So.
No, absolutely. North Scott head coach Tony Stewart joining me right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. A few more before I let you go. Get out there, coach, do the things you love to do. Get away from this goofy media guy. I go look at the schedule, and I'm like, okay, let's see what North Scott's going. And welcome to head coaching. You get Xavier to start things off. Kind of talk about the schedule, how it lines up, and that opener against Xavier. Obviously, it's become such a nice rivalry between Xavier and North Scott and several other schools in your district. But the opener is one of the best games on the schedule as well.
Yeah, we're excited about it. That game started, man, I think it was 2018 or 2019 when we first played them, and Every time we play them, it's been a battle. I don't know if there's been a blowout in that game. Obviously we've either won or lost by a couple touchdowns, maybe, but for the most part, it's a slugfest, and we ton of respect for their whole staff. They've been in there a long time and what they've done and how they do it. They do what they do, and they are good at what they do. And our attitude with our kids is good, right? We want those matchups, right? Like we want to be to challenge ourselves. And we'll find out that week one, how we're going to show up, and then from there, it's what's the next step, right? Whether we win or lose that game is how we're going to approach the next week and get better again, whether we win or lose. So we're excited about that one. I mean, Cedar Rapids Wash was a good team last year. Pella obviously was a semifinal team. Clear Creek, man, has got a lot coming back. They're good. That's our first 4 games. So, and then not to mention getting into district with Western Dubuque and the rest of them. So it's going to be a fun schedule. But I love it because it should be good games for our fans and for our players. Those are the ones you want to play in. You guys remember Jay Lytle? Shout out Jay Lytle. He was a starter for us the last 2 years, and we were talking after the Waverly game last year. That was tough. We were down 2 touchdowns. It came back and won it late. And he told me after the game, he's like, "Coach, that was the most fun I've ever had playing football." I was like, "Yeah," because it meant it was tough, right? It was hard. You had to earn it. And then came back when we played, I think it was Decorah. He said, "Coach, this one might have been a little bit better." But it's just, how that is. Like, it matters more when you play good opponents and it's difficult. Yeah. Sometimes you don't come out on the right end of it, but when you do, like, you realize, man, that we had to earn that, and that's what makes it fun. So.
You looking at too, Coach, that's going to help down the stretch. Last year, you went 7-2. That's a good season. But it's not like it was this glossy 9-0 record and, this was an easy trip to the Dome. But you still made it to the Dome. Talk about that, because you might stumble once or twice, but the ultimate goal isn't to be – you'd love to be, but 9-0 isn't the ultimate goal. It's to eventually play in big games, get to state championships, those kind of things, isn't it?
I think every coach would be lying if that wasn't their goal. But I think to be able to get that right is you can maybe stumble and not have your best game, as long as your attitude is the next, like, that game's over. What are we going to do to get better? Like, we're going to focus on the next opponent and focus on the next opponent, because that's what you can control. I can't control right now. I can't control whether we're 13-0 going to the state championship game. I can't control that. What we can't control is how we're going to practice today, and then from that is how we're going to prepare for the next team we have on our schedule. And part of that is, we had some injuries and banged up, whatever. As a coach and a program, our kids got to understand we have a next man mentality. We care about every kid in our program, right? But whoever's the next guy, we trust that next guy because we prepared you and you prepared just like they have. And if you have that type of attitude, it allows you to maybe work through some of the difficulties that are going to happen during a season.
No, absolutely. Last one for you before I let you go. What will August 29th be like for you personally to be a head coach at North Scott High School? I probably asked you this question when we chatted when you got the job, but now you're a little bit closer, less than a month away. Have you thought about how you'll be, or how do you expect to be? What will that moment be like for you as a head coach at North Scott High School?
It's going to be fun. I'm excited about it, but the more you think about it, the kids in our program have 4 years to play high school football. I've done it for 16 years as a coach. Obviously I'm going to continue doing it. So it's going to be about them. It's going to be about the kids. It's their first senior night. It's their first game as a senior. Some of those kids, their first time coming down as a player on a varsity team. And as long as we make it about them and not about me, I think we'll be just fine. 'Cause if I think about me and what I've got going on, then I'm not focused on what they have going on. And if I can focus on them, that's going to make my job easier. So I'm excited for the kids. It's their opportunity. You get one chance to be a senior, a couple chances maybe. If you're lucky, you get 3 chances to play varsity football. Not very many kids even get that opportunity. So you got 2 years. So let's make it the best experience for them we can.
Absolutely. Tony Stewart, new head coach at North Scott High School. I appreciate your time. Best of luck. You get this stuff out of the way now. See, now all these other coaches got to deal with me calling them, setting up interviews, all that kind of stuff. You get this stuff out of the way, and then those TV stations will come calling, and I got you ready. Like, this is the practice, so you're ready to rock and roll when big-time media comes your way. So I appreciate you, my friend. Go ahead.
So when you said first, like, that's perfect. We can check that off the list. So
yeah, absolutely. No, and I wish you guys the best of luck. We'll be watching. We'll talk to you again real soon. I appreciate you, Coach.
Thanks, and good luck to you and your new gig too. So
I appreciate you. That is Tony Stewart, the head coach of the North Scott Lancers. Always one of my favorite programs to cover when it comes to just sports in general. They do a great job up there, but high school football as well. Known Tony for several years. Excited to see him hit the ground running and continue what's been a great thing at North Scott High School. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? You need Mobile Party Experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile Party Experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your Mobile Party Experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. What a weekend it was for professional wrestling. The WWE taking SummerSlam to New Jersey 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday. Everyone is talking, and one of the people they're talking about here on a Monday is the Quad Cities own Seth Rollins. So let's break it all down with our wrestling expert, one of our wrestling experts. Don Umland is here. Donnie, what a weekend for SummerSlam.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Something's coming in. Let's see what it is. Hold on.
All right.
Oh.
Oh, he's one of the best.
Okay. Now we're ready.
You just can't help but dance, right? Brock Lesnar, a huge story last night. We'll get to Brock here in a second, Don. But one of the biggest reasons I wanted to talk about this today is the fact that the Quad Cities well represented once again. Seth Rollins is the world champion once again, cashing in Money in the Bank. I guess your thoughts when you go back to Saturday night's main event and seeing an unexpected Seth Rollins do what he did.
When you can hook us in and think that he's really hurt and suspend belief or not suspend belief because we didn't know and keep it a secret, so to speak, and then get the payoff at the end of the night, it couldn't be better. Kind of makes the shirt kind of apropos because it's like, what's real? What's not real?
Yeah.
It was fantastic writing.
Yeah, to go back for anyone who doesn't know, about 3 weeks ago on Saturday night's main event on NBC national television, Seth Rollins hurt his knee. It looked pretty legit, and that's the thing, Don, is you never know if it's legit, if it's not legit, those kind of things, and it looked pretty legit. And he seemed to be out for a long time. He actually filled in as the host for the Rich Eisen show and played it up social media wise. It seemed like he was as hurt. You heard a little rumbling here and there, but I think it's cool because it shows what you have to do nowadays in order to work or get one over on the wrestling fan. But this obviously wasn't an injury from the start, surprising everyone. What does it mean when you have to do all of those kind of things and jump through those type of hoops in order to surprise the wrestling fans around the world?
I think it shows that in today's media that this is the nth degree you have to go to pull it off, A, and B, the circle has to stay really tight within the WWE constituents, which is similar to what they did a few months ago that they unveil on Unreal. Here's my cheap pot posting for Netflix's reality series about how hard it is to keep something tight so that nobody finds out. But the payoff is when it's done is we walk away just having holy shit moments and loving wrestling in that much more.
Yeah, it was. And you look at it too, Don, you go back and Seth Rollins' record speaks for itself. His resume, I guess you should say, kind of speaks for itself with what he's been able to accomplish and do. But one of the best things and the biggest things he did to kind of get on the map was cash in the Money in the Bank back at WrestleMania. And I think it brought a lot of people back to, man, that was probably the best WrestleMania cash in or the best Money in the Bank cash in at WrestleMania. This one's right there. Do you have a preference on which one is? I think this one's better. I do. Is it better?
First one's always really cool, but the fact that this one is so ingrained into Punk and them going back 15 years and tying in such details like he whips the belt around. He did that in NXT against Punk. He did it when he did it the first time. So you weave all these things from time, and their story is genuinely intertwined. And that shot of Punk, when he hears that music, it will be etched in us as one of those moments like, oh my God, he's going to get screwed again. I mean, that's just great stuff. So yeah, I would agree with you, Matt.
And that's the thing about storytelling. And what was it, Survivor Series 2 years ago that CM Punk came back, and you saw the disdain and the real life hate that they have for each other, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and they didn't just jump into a feud and put him in a ring and say, go for it. They've slowly built the storyline up, and they're not done. I mean, this sets up, and you know it too, right when that hit and right when that happened, in my mind, I'm thinking, man, WrestleMania or wherever these two faced each other again and CM Punk gets his revenge or whatever it may be, is going to be just as good. Like, this thing's just getting started. It's storytelling at its finest, and long-term storytelling.
We just went through a 3+ year bloodline story that will be etched as one of the best storylines ever. And this one may not rank up there, but in terms of longevity, it certainly will, because of the history goes back, like we said, 15+ years. I mean, there's so many options to go with this, because obviously he's going to have to go through multiple people again, which is what we like, to get to Rollins. And the payoff, like you said, will probably be Mania, with Punk getting a main event, which he got last year, but him and Punk are going to be the centerpiece probably in Vegas next spring.
The thing that happened, Don Umland joining me right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo, when Seth Rollins got hurt, or we thought got hurt, we obviously a local guy, we didn't like it because we love our local guys. And then he was getting ready to be pushed in the business more than ever, and he's already had a fantastic career. And we were sitting there going, man, just awful timing. And now here we are, not injured, the champion. What does this set up for our local guy? Like, how big can he be? I'm going to say he's one of the top, if not the biggest name in the industry right now. How big does this set him up for what's to come and what's already been in a Hall of Fame career?
Well, wasn't it funny, Matt, that about a month ago when they put him with Heyman in this faction, that we were kind of sitting there going, I don't know if this is going to resonate. It was kind of like, you know, Heyman's had, Lesnar, which now, reties all this stuff in, like, dun-da-dun-da-dun. We're like, I don't know. And then now you do this. We can't wait to see him come on the screen, whatever night it's going to be, because Punk's going to probably disappear for a little bit because he got just bruised, beat up, hurt emotionally. Then he'll sit in the hiding, and what it does for him, it puts him in the category of the elite of WWE wrestlers throughout time and history, I think, because his career's not over, but boy, does this just elevate it that much more.
We got more about SummerSlam to talk about. Last one with our guy Seth Rollins. How does Monday Night Raw open tonight? Is it Seth's music? Do we get an explanation? Was he hurt? There's some people that think he was hurt and it wasn't as bad as they thought, and he was able to come back quicker. There's some that think this was a setup from the get-go and he was never hurt at all. Do we see Seth right away on Monday night tonight kind of explaining and laughing and telling people what actually happened?
Absolutely. You've got the hot button moment. He's going to come out and just say, I told you so, ha ha ha. It'll be interesting to see how badly hurt Braun Breaker is as a sidekick, because we saw him hobbling at the end. So that's a side note. I think we see LA Knight, who was not at the two-night affair, who kind of got screwed, is in that match, coming back out saying, hey, you owe me something, because he's been chasing him for a while. I think that's the first engagement, but I think he does celebrate first.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, that's a good storyline to pick up on. And the thing is that you're going to find the WWE does so well, and not to bash your boys at AEW, but you would think, like, okay, when are we going to get Punk and Rollins? And some would streamline that and push it, and that's the first thing you're going to see. They're not. You're not going to see Punk and Rollins, in my opinion, till Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. I don't know where it happens, but it's not going to be the next PLE. Like, they're going
Absolutely
to make sure
not.
this thing gets its money's worth and continues that build, which I think is something that the WWE does really, really well. All right, well, you're dancing around like an idiot because Brock Lesnar is back. Everyone knew something was going to happen. John Cena, Cody Rhodes, main event of night number 2. Really good match. And you look at it, Don, John Cena comes back and he's rounding into form. He looks really, really good right now. And he took some bumps and it was a really good match. Cody wins. They kind of pass that torch. They end that quote unquote storyline. And then of all people, Brock Lesnar's music hits. First off, the moment, and talk about the pop, and then talk about what it all means, because I think there's two separate sides to this: the instant pop or the instant gratification that you got, and then what it means long term and where we go with this, and what does it mean with Brock Lesnar back and all of those kind of things.
First of all, the pop that blew the roof off that building, and we've had those moments in time. Stone Cold coming back, Trips coming back, Punk. I mean, those are moments that we go, holy shit. And the fact that he was been in a supposed, at least named in a lawsuit at one point with Vince and all that, either A, that's not as serious as it has been because they brought him back. We saw him. Is it a one-off? I don't know. But whatever it's going to be, it's going to be fun because who's he? I mean, clearly him and Cena are going to have something happen in the next 4 months that we can look forward to. Last match? I don't know. But what's really going to be, it's going to be exciting at the very least.
Were you surprised to see Lesnar? I don't want to get into everything that's going on up behind the scenes, but obviously there's some allegations and some stuff that almost many people thought would make him untouchable right now or not a viable option right now. In my opinion, they must feel pretty comfortable about where those kind of things are going if they're going to bring him back on the biggest stage of the summer at SummerSlam. Your thoughts on those kind of things?
100% agree with you, Matt. I don't think you put him out there if it's not good for business. They wouldn't take that hit. Well, one of two things. Either they're willing to take that minor hit or it's not as bad as it seems because they put him out there and he made a move and he was involved. He's in a storyline now. He's clearly in a storyline. Now, when will we see him again? I don't know, but something's going to happen. So am I excited? He's 48 years old, same age as Cena. There's a limited shelf life there of what he can do. Is it a one-off? Does he go after some other favorites? Like, we talked about, could we get him a match with Braun Breaker? Would be fun. Would it be against our big Austrian, Gunther? We don't know. But we do know him and Cena are going to have something in the next 4 months, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, Don, is I think this is the next step. This is the next chapter in the comeback, or not the comeback, but the goodbye, because there's only 4 months left. I don't think the last match that Cena has is against Lesnar. I don't think it waits that long. We don't know. It may be. I mean, it might be. It could be something that happens, but I do love the way they passed the torch, and I think that's done. I think it was a quick heel. So anybody who didn't know, John Cena turned heel or bad guy about 4 months ago, and they did a quick heel turn back to face or back to good guy on SmackDown on Friday night, and it was quick. But you have to do things quick. You couldn't do a slow turn from bad guy to good guy because he's only got a limited time left before he's done. So he's back. I think what's next. So I get one of the people that I text with when it comes to wrestling is Owen Freeman. We are both wrestling dorks. And so he brought up a good point to me yesterday. What's next with Cody? So I'll send that question to you. Cody's your champion once again. What's next for Cody Rhodes?
You know, I haven't given this as much thought. Who would be the next challenger? Because, you know, Gunther's without a title now. But I don't know if you put those two together. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Do you have an opinion, Matt, on who it could be?
I mean, could Randy Orton, could they rerun that back? Is that thing done? I don't know. Yeah, do it again if you're Jey Uso. But I think that's the nice part is they can kind of reset some storylines when it comes to Cody. And in my opinion, his chase to get there and completing the story was awesome. His first title run was, it was okay. It was fine, but it didn't blow my socks off. And now we have a second one. And there are those Cena-like groans from fans that are kind of getting a little tired of it. But the kids love him. The merchandise is red hot. Where do you do it?
I will say this, Matt. Let's not forget about one minor detail. Maybe it'll just go away. But what was one of the things we thought might happen last night? Who would show up other than Lesnar?
The Rock.
Right. We remember that he gave him that offer that he told him to go F himself. But he gave him that gift that night after WrestleMania. Is that going to come back into play where maybe those two face each other? Like, yeah,
I think
that's just.
I think everybody would love that. And a couple WrestleManias ago, that was the match people almost wanted to see more than Cody and Reigns. Was Cody and The Rock. Does Roman get back into the picture when it comes to Cody Rhodes? And obviously Roman and Seth is waiting to happen too. I mean, that was something you kind of thought was on the back burner because he was injured. And there's still the whole Paul Heyman situation and Roman and how long does Roman go away for? And it's just, there's so many ways in which they can go to it. But we know eventually we're going to get CM Punk and Seth Rollins, and it's going to be bigger than ever. I think you're going to get Rollins and Roman Reigns, and that's going to be bigger than ever. And I think you could rerun Cody and Roman again if you wanted to. You could rerun Cody and Seth again, and that would be because you look at that feud. You know, Cody got the best of Seth Rollins 3 times to get him over when he got to the WWE. So there's so many ways they can go to it.
If the ultimate goal is the Universal Championship, then yeah, we're going to eventually see Cody and Seth because he wants it all.
Yeah.
You know, he wants it all.
Yeah.
You know?
A lot of places they can go with it. Before I let you go, I want to go night 1, night 2, Saturday. Besides that finish that had me jumping out of my seat like I was a 13-year-old again. Besides that, what did you take from Saturday? What was your favorite part of Saturday besides the ending?
You know, if I had to list or rattle things that I thought were really good, and I'll try to be brief with it, I thought as much of it was a train wreck, that 6-team tables, ladders, and chair match, man, there were some really brutal and stunning moments in that. I'd throw that out there. I thought Naomi, Rhea Ripley, and Io tore it down. I mean, they're just 3 great performers. I know you weren't as big a fan of this match. I thought Becky Lynch and Lyra was, even though there wasn't heat on the match itself and what they went through in it, I thought was really, really good. Bliss and Charlotte winning a tag team title and supposedly being friends. And then we haven't even talked about Roman and Jey winning. You know, they were quality matches. But if I was going to throw one more in there, you know, we periodically get these guest appearances of wrestlers that appear. Jelly Roll certainly didn't disappoint, and you could tell, and we read about, he moved for a month to Orlando to train to do this. So when you get a fan that's fully committed to not wanting to go out and embarrass themselves, let alone the company, and then to see Logan Paul's leap onto him, that's a moment. That's a moment that will be like a holy shit moment. So I thought that was I'll throw that in as a moment. But I thought rattling off all those different things stick out to me.
Yeah, so I asked Don for one thing that stuck out to him, and he just rambled off the card from WrestleMania. 6 things. No, I'll double back with you, and I'll say on night 1 it was Jelly Roll, and that was the match besides the ending that really stood out to me. The things and the bumps that he took, and I love the fact that he didn't win, Don. I didn't want to see Jelly Roll beat Logan Paul or Drew McIntyre especially, who's one of the best in the business. A country music singer shouldn't turn around and say, okay, now I'm going to beat this guy. So I'm glad that he did what he did and the way he did it and the bumps that he took and the things that he did, but they still made it so that the professional wrestlers still won the match. I like that. And then night 2, that 6-team TLC match, somebody put the numbers up from it, and the amount of chairs and tables and broken ladders and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy, the numbers that were on it. I thought that was really, really impressive as well. So those are the 2 things that'll kind of stand out to me. If you're a wrestling fan, obviously some more PLEs coming up, but obviously the next biggest one for me, I guess, is SummerSlam, or not SummerSlam, but Survivor Series, which is right around Thanksgiving. What's the next thing that you're looking forward to when it comes to WWE and what's to come in the future?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a particular event, because obviously we want to see how Cena's thing plays out.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to Paris. They're going to go to Australia, which I assume will be Rhea Ripley's coming out party. I think Drew McIntyre gets involved in something in Paris, or Gunther, because we're abroad. I mean, when we say World Wrestling Entertainment, even though its foundation is in the United States, they are really going global. And we see that when we see these fans in Europe or wherever show up. They're insane. It's great stuff. So I think the next events will be good. We'll be sprinkled, and then we'll just try to enjoy a couple of those things and see who gets some opportunities, like a Drew, like an LA Knight, that maybe didn't get their moment at SummerSlam. We'll see how they get rewoven into the storylines.
I'll leave you with this. Damian Priest, Aleister Black, LA Knight, all people that weren't on SummerSlam, a 2-night 12-match event. That's how good the WWE is right now. That's how deep the WWE is right now. And it's a good time to be a wrestling fan. As the shirt says, wrestling is real, Don, and we always appreciate. Some people love this. Like, you'd be surprised. The numbers for the wrestling stuff are not bad, but obviously, if it's not your fancy, we appreciate you guys letting us talk about it. Donnie, always appreciate it. And before I let you go, I got some video from last night I want to show everybody. No, I'm kidding. Don, I appreciate it. Be well. Your wife, here's what I can say. Your wife is so proud of you right now.
He always is.
All right, Donnie. Be good. Thanks, buddy.
Hey, it won't be long. We'll be talking football.
I know. That's the cool thing is throughout the show today, we've had a couple high school coaches on. We're doing this show. We're doing it from Iowa Football Media Day on Friday. Super excited about that as well. So many fun things to get to. Football season's here before you know it, and you're going to be busy on Friday nights getting yelled at by coaches. That's where you're in your element.
Yeah,
it's when you're messing things up.
That's my name. And you know what? We'll get together. We'll chat a little bit. There's a couple rule changes this year. We'll share with the folks, let everybody know what's going on out there as we get closer to kickoff.
I love it. All right, Donnie. I would say go to work, but that's it's a different thing for you these days. So
I'm heading that way.
I love that. All right. Thanks, Donnie. That is Don Umland talking a little professional wrestling here on a Monday in the Quad Cities as SummerSlam, as good as it gets, and it was centered on, and the biggest headline was probably Seth Rollins, Davenport's own Seth Rollins, being the world champion once again. We got more to get to. You're watching Off the Air on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. Are you looking to take your next party, tailgate, or golf outing to the next level? you need mobile party experience. MPX features 3 top-of-the-line party trailers equipped with all the amenities you need to party like a rock star. Smart TVs, Yeti coolers, JBL sound systems, grills, bathrooms, and much more. Mobile party experience is an experience like no other. Check out my-mpx.com or call 563-514-1470 and book your mobile party experience today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Friday. Gosh, I wish it was Friday. Here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, and it was a busy Monday on the show. It's past noon, so we got a little later start. Some funky technology, but a full 2 hours on a Monday. I figured coming back from vacation we'd have a lot to catch up on, but it's also such a great time of year. It's literally my favorite time of year. We have the football season starting. Everything's right around the corner. A lot to get to, a lot to talk about. And it was a full show. We want to thank Nick Welch for joining us this morning to kind of preview the United Township football team. What we're going to be doing is every day, hopefully every day, leading up into football season, we're going to chat with a coach from Illinois and a coach from Iowa, high school-wise, kind of preview them. On the Iowa side today, it was new head coach at North Scott, Tony Stewart. New head coach. He's been there for a long time, so don't expect the Lancers to skip a beat. Kevin Tippett, one of my favorite people, but I think Tony Stewart and those guys are going to keep things running in the right direction for sure. So check out those 2 previews, United Township and North Scott. Also, in between them, we were honored to talk to the head coach of the Quad City Steamwheelers, Cory Ross. The Wheelers winning a playoff game this past weekend. They'll play for the Eastern Conference Championship at Vibrant Arena coming up this weekend, I should say, Saturday night. Against Green Bay, rivalry game, should be a blast. Make sure you get down there. We'll also have Jordan Vesey, most likely, on the show coming up on Wednesday. So we'll still do our Steamwheeler Wednesday, but we had to talk Wheelers. I mean, come on, after that weekend. And then last but not least, thanks to Don Umland for chatting wrestling with me. It was a great SummerSlam. The Quad City's own Seth Rollins stealing the show and the headlines on Saturday once again, cashing in and becoming the WWE World Champion once again and fooling everybody. Supposedly hurt badly with a knee on Saturday night's main event about 3 weeks ago. Sold it well, and so he's now the champion. So a lot to get to on today's show. If you missed any of it, go back and check it out. YouTube, X, the podcasting platforms. You can check out the show as well. Also, couple notes. This week on Friday, it'll be an afternoon show. We'll be doing Off the Air with Matt Randazzo live from Iowa Football Media Day. So I'm guessing 2:30ish, maybe 3 o'clock we get rolling. We'll know a little more as we move on, but we'll be back behind the football complex on one of the practice fields. The players and coaches are open to the media. We'll have ourselves set up. Pat Anger will join us. Gonna hope to track down Gary Dolphin if he's roaming around, maybe Rod Brooks, a player or two along the way. So should be a lot of fun. Really excited to head up to Iowa Football Media Day coming up on Friday and taking the show on the road. So make sure you check that out. We'll be reminding you and promoting that throughout the week as well. And then also want to mention August 17th, the View from the West kickoff party down at the other bar in Moline. I'll be joining the View from West guys, Greg Armstrong, bunch of other coaches. We'll be doing a show live there from 5 o'clock to who knows when. So that's August 17th. Also, August 24th, the Western Big Six Coaches Banquet is at the Botanical Center. So make sure you get out to that as well. So a lot to get to this month. We'll have announcements throughout the month of things we're planning on doing. You just saw Mobile Party Experience, fantastic sponsors of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. And they, too, we're going to be partnering with them to do some fun things on Fridays coming up during the football season as well. So anyways, it's been a long Monday show, and we appreciate you guys watching it. We'll be back again tomorrow. A couple new previews when it comes to high school football and several other things as we get rolling on a busy week right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.